and art and makeup and plants, and I'm a mom. I like nature, fashion, healthy food. I like desserts, like sweets, but not candy. I hate candy. Like baked goods, pies and stuff. So I think for anything, I'm gonna need to like shower and freshen all up. And feed this. That's crawling towards my ankles. I'm gonna have to get used to it anyways. It'll just get really awkward. Ain't it in there?
I mean, not right now.
It's really bad.
What about his room?
Oh yeah, and then just go chill in the nursery. There we go. Need to be better looking at the camera. Okay. I figured we could just like hang out. I have some plants I need to repot. Some propagations I need to put into like jars and whatnot. These little guys. I think they're black velvet alocasia. I have this little snake plant in my Solly jar. Cute. Recycling. My ZZ Raven that is in dire need of attention. I'm gonna try to make a terrarium with this little bugger. This little Hoya compacta. I got this at a plant swap. And then I have these that are also ones I started from the bulb. So those have to go into dirt. Yeah, I just have a bunch I have to kind of move around. By no means am I a plant expert. These are just things of like that works well with me and my plants and the environment that I've kind of created in my home here. So I just want to make that clear. By no means what am I doing here is gonna like perfectly work in somebody else's house. Okay, ignore the rickety chair as best we can. I realize that it is much worse now that I'm filming than it ever has been in any other time I've needed to use it in my entire life. Okay, the first plant I'm gonna do is Venus flytrap. Throw it like way up there, Venus flytrap. Yeah, so they can't have like normal soil. I have some, that moss that I can't pronounce. I got some of this at one of our local plant stores. It did not come wet down, so I'm gonna have to let that down. I have no idea how to do that. I'm gonna try with like a squirt bottle and some water and hope for the best. But what it's going to go into is this, and then I'm gonna cap it, and it's gonna be amazing. As I just threw water all over myself, I'm gonna put that on the floor now. I just like fun. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go with it. It'll dry, right? Right. And it's on my sleeve. Alright, normally that would discourage me. Kinda did. Gonna keep going. I'm gonna take out these like huge sticks. I don't feel that that's like all that necessary. Well, at least some of them. But it looks like water. That is some stale water, but it is water. Ta-da! I mean, it's probably gonna have to be way wetter than that, but it's a start. It had roots growing out the bottom, had kind of died off since it got really dark, but I'm just gonna like repot it and hope that it kind of comes back to life and gets bigger mouthpieces, jaws. I have the humidifier going, and the mix of like that with like all the little particles in the air from like plant dirt, it's like nice. It's really therapeutic. Actually, It's actually like backed by science to some degree. I'm not saying what I said it is, but that's interesting. Little bundle. I have like 3 little, I have 3 separate little things of those. So now I'm going to honestly put all of this into that jar. This was the old stuff it came in, that brown stuff here, and this is what I'm putting it into. It's looking like that shake at the bottom is kind of needed from like the soil it was in, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, oh, I did that like behind the thing. Okay, so this is that so far. I'm gonna zoom this in a little bit. What do we have? Try to like block off that reflection. That's not working. Sip some coffee. Okay, so I had to make like a few adjustments. I had to add a little more moss and some of the smaller bits, and now I'm just gonna add some other little bits for detail. And then I will show you when I'm done. Okay, so this is kind of what I have. I just kind of pushed down where I could in the moss to kind of compact it a little bit. This is the inside. If you see me looking that way, I'm looking at my viewfinder. Don't ask why it's that way. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I got. I'm going to cap it with this. I know it's wooden. I'm just gonna use like probably some cling wrap for now until I can either find a better setup or just like a way to seal off wood for this jar so it doesn't get all moldy or whatnot from the humidity. This is like the fun part, so I'm going to mist it and we're going to shut it. On to the next plant. Okay, so the next 2 that I'm going to plant are the CZ Raven plant. It looks quite sad, actually. Don't focus on them. There we go. Kind of. This, at the same time, because they're both in leca, which is this stuff right here. I use that for like bulbs and propagations. It just works really well for rooting for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna dump those out into this guy again. I rinse this out. I'm waiting for some water to boil. And wiggle this out a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. So it says like usually about 2 inches of roots for potting. This is a little over an inch for sure, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pop it into dirt just because it looks like it needs more nutrients than what it's getting. Cool, okay. And then same thing, I'm just gonna pull these out and pop them into really bad. Ooh, see how these are much smaller roots, so I'm actually gonna have to wiggle these out a bit more because it's also much more dry in here and they're probably stuck to some of these. There's that. Yeah, they're kind of tangled together. I'm gonna pot them together anyways, just because they are so small right now. I always pour hot water into these, get all the bacteria before I ever use again. I'm not, however, going to pour this over like my hands, I just realized, because I don't want to burn that. And I just pretty much let them do that until until I need them and I cool them off, and then some. I have my own pre-mixed soil. I use like perlite, just regular kind of potting mix, a little bit of fertilizer, and sand and stuff for drainage. I'm gonna get some dirt into these. This is gonna, something feels off here. Cause this is going to need a pot too. So I'm just gonna like take this out now, right? Okay. This has smaller roots, so it's going in here. These two have much longer roots, so I'm going to put them into this one. I think I need something different for this one. I'm gonna get some dirt in those, pot them up, and come back and show you. This is what the snake plant ended up in. I just put a deeper, the dirt's like up to here. It's not all the way up since the roots weren't that long, as we see. Alocasia. This is just an old candle. And the ZZ Raven also in those little pots that I showed you beforehand. And yeah, they're all in their other pots now. My last couple bulbs that I need to put into here. I'm going to be taking that leca and I'm going to be putting it back in there. I'm going to be putting these little gems in with it. This is my own little like greenhouse and it works perfectly. So for me, I use the shallow puddle method when it comes to my alocasia bulbs. Tiny bit of water, enough to get it, the bulb wet, tap it up, give it humidity, a ton of sunlight, a little bit of warmth. They do take time. Then eventually they're like that. They need to get into like a more upright position so you don't have an awkwardly growing bulb. That's where the leca comes in handy in that process of propagating and growing, but it's not going to be overly saturated in the soil and possibly get root rot and just die out because alocasia are very finicky. It took me a while to get them under the control, and it took me a while to get to like where I am with plants now because it's a very, when they say having a green thumb, they mean it. For sure. Beginning, I got really down on myself when things would die. I was pregnant too. I have gotten rid of quite a few of them, especially now that my baby has started crawling. If you want me to do like a plant tour, there we go. I could do one of the, this is the setup and I love it. It gives me really good feelings when I'm sitting over here, when I look at it. My baby loves to come over and touch plants, looks at plants. It's just like a little dose of serotonin in our house. If you ever hear a squawk, that is my child. He's eating a snack and watching me now. I don't like to show him on camera all too often, just for his own sake. He's little. I do share images every so often, but that's just on my own terms. I prefer people to ask me before ever posting a picture of my child. I think. Oh, no, it did absorb it all again. Sheila, this bulb has been in here forever. I put it in the same time as this one. It currently has a leaf unfurling. That's like the original leaf it produced, so that's why it's a little damaged. It's just kind of been around for a while. But at the same time, that one's gone on to living its best life, and this one needs a drink and is still doing its thing. All I do is get a good amount in there. I'm gonna use these and just kind of wiggle their way, finagle the way into the, you know. So this is kind of what I just grabbed into. I'll show you. Those are the roots in the mess that I'm gonna put in there and grow together. And if any of you are wondering like where these bulbs come from or where I get them, they come from the mother plants. So these two that I'm planting in here right now came from my big black velvet that I currently have. I have really poor posture that I need to work on. Let's not talk about it. Plants. I've had a couple other allocations like I mentioned. They've passed on. Also, when planting these, see how you can kind of get confused how those roots are coming out right here. I'm gonna put this down. This end's gonna go down because this right here, if you can see that little point, that's where your plant, the flower, foliage, whatever is going to come out. Find a way to pop them in here. What are you doing over there. So what I'm gonna do works good enough for me. I'm gonna take some of these extra ones because I have the roots, since they're growing out the top like they were. It was kind of chilling up there, as you can see. I'm gonna put some more leca on top of. The lighting's probably a little bit different. My camera got really warm, kind of died. So charged my battery and put my baby down for a nap. I kind of fell asleep for a nap. I'm gonna hurry up and finish up this video because it's taken me like all day. All I have left, I placed my allocation here. They're in there, they're covered and whatnot. Like right as I was finishing this up, my camera like quit out on me. I'd probably tell you like what I do, not exactly like who, like since I'm really bad at like who am I? Stay-at-home mom right now. Anything in that artistic, creative area I've always really enjoyed. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm gonna be putting it in this. I had to find the nodes on it. So I took these two little leafies off. Those little three things right there, those are nodes, and that's what's gonna need to get put in the water. So that's what we're submerging. Yeah, this is pretty simple. Fill it up with some water, leave it in this little area I have right here. As you can see, the sun kind of comes in from this window I have here. I have this grow bulb that also helps with all this heat lamp. There's a humidifier up there. This is just my own little happy ecosystem. Taken almost 2 years now to create. But yeah, this actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Catch you later. See you in the next one.